You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaiah Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaiah Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and just like any other time, we have another show lined up for y'all today. We're going to welcome intuitive guide coach, mindset mentor, and the creator of Living Fully with Sarah Collins herself. She has over 20 years of civil engineering experience, but she had an opportunity to step into something even greater. She is helping a lot of people today with her work, and you can go check out all that she's doing at livingfullywithSarah.com. And she's going to help us understand not just living life fully, but having a fun time as well. So first and foremost, Sarah, I want to say thanks for clearing your calendar, for talking to us today. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being on. Kind of talk to us a little bit about what was the transition like? Because like I said in the intro, over 20 years of being a civil engineer. At what point did you decide, you know what, there's more that I want to explore?
Yeah, I mean, I admit that I'm still working part-time as a civil engineer, but I finally kind of accepted it, which has been the easiest time to, I guess, still do the work. But I mean, it was probably, from the time I started college, I knew I didn't want to do it, but I didn't know what else to do. So I just continued with it, got my master's. But yeah, probably a few years ago, I realized, I know there's something else for me to do. And yeah, just the process of letting go of the attachment to the title civil engineer, because I used that in who I was for so long.
A lot of people know the feeling of what it feels like to not feel connected. Even though we have social media and we have friends and family and careers and communities that we're a part of, there's still this situation where on the outside we might be looking successful, but in the inside we might be falling apart. From your own personal journey, what's some of the signs that someone could be going through that?
Just feeling very discontent with your own life. It's really hard to realize it when you're in the middle of like a deep depression, because that's what I went through. There wasn't anything outside of my own thoughts, I guess. But yeah, just feeling like there's something more out of life than what you're doing day to day. Society makes us believe if we follow these few steps, end up making money. And the goal, society's goal is to make a lot of money. So then you have that financial freedom. But even if you get to that point, there's still so much unhappiness, kind of discontent around life, and there's kind of a confusion, like why? What's going on? So then you just keep going for more. There's always a future moment of happiness. There's always a future moment that can make you a little bit happier than this moment. And it just shows that we don't think this moment is full enough for us. It's not good enough. So kind of always looking at a future moment or worrying about a past moment and truly not living in this moment, which so many of us do. If we're thinking about anything in the future or the past, we're not living in this moment. So yeah, I think it's just the realization of I've done all these things in my life and I still feel a lack. And kind of a confusion of like, what is that lack? I think is what a lot of people go through.
Being able to pursue education and have success. It's not like you don't have anything to have on the table. You have plenty to show on the table. Why do you think it is for high achievers, those who are succeeding in making progress with their careers, still at the same time feel like, okay, I'm not enough, or this is not enough. Why do you think that seems to still creep in, even though on the outside looking in, you look like a successful person who has done well?
Yeah, I think it's always this idea of there's something else I should be doing. There's a lot of shoulds in our minds of what we should be doing, because then that will then make us feel fulfilled in life. And especially high achievers, there's always a future goal. And that kind of brings excitement in life of future goals. So if there isn't a future goal, a future point of achievement, then it kind of feels like, well, what else is the point of life? What else do you do with life? So I think there's just always there's things that we do, in life that give us short-term happiness. And a lot of people shopping, making more money. It's short-term happiness. And then that happiness starts to slowly go away. So then there's something else that we need to find that happiness out of. So I like to help people realize that you don't need to go outside of yourself to look for that contentment in life. It's always within you. And that you don't have to fight with life. I think that's what a lot of people truly struggle with, fighting with the current state of their life.
And speaking of fighting with the current state, let's just be real. All you got to do is read the headlines and look around outside, see what's going on in the world. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people who, looking at prices and like, wait, what? Things are going up. Gas is going up. Budget's getting tight. Let's just be real. How much is overthinking also contributing to fighting these battles that we have to deal with daily?
People might not like this, but majority of the struggle in your life is overthinking. I often say kind of like accepting life and moving forward is similar to if you were to break your leg, you're not going to say that, some people may say that shouldn't have ever happened, but to truly heal, it's accepting that happened and what can we do to move forward, instead of saying that shouldn't have ever happened, that it doesn't help the situation. So it's kind of accepting and being okay with things in the past, which is really, really hard to do. I understand that. A lot of healing has to come from it. But kind of noticing the thought patterns of the tiniest things in life. That's where I usually tell people to start. Don't start with the big things. Don't try to let things go that are really, really large in your life. Just kind of start with the small things of things you cannot change, as simple as the weather, other drivers on the road. Just notice the thought patterns that come in and how angry you can get over the smallest things in your life. So just kind of noticing those small things will it's like a muscle. It'll start training, as if you're going to the gym. You'll start training that awareness to become aware of those thought patterns that just trigger your whole body. And the more you can start to do it, the more you're able to allow life to happen and not fight with life.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest today, Sarah Collins. Go to her website, livingfullywithSarah.com. My next question for you is, all right, those who are watching, those who are listening on radio, many people believe happiness will arrive after the next financial goal, the next promotion, the next relationship, or the next personal breakthrough. Why does happiness keep moving further into the future? And is there a way for them to rethink that and just appreciate the now?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I talk about a lot is we're conditioned to always see happiness in a future moment. And I've never been big on goals, so I know that I'm a little different than a lot of people. But a goal is something that once you achieve that, then you can finally say, I did it. I'll be happy then. But it's just realizing that happiness is just an emotion, just like any other emotion. It may be one of our favorite emotions, but all emotions arise. And we're always fighting with life to try to achieve happiness. And it's kind of allowing all of the emotions to show up in life and kind of being okay with the other emotions, which is really hard. I mean, when I get angry, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm glad that I'm angry. But it's knowing that happiness will arise and it doesn't have to be somewhere in the future. It's kind of coming back to, can I really live in this moment and be joyful? I mean, maybe you won't be joyful all the time, but just be okay with life and allow those things, those emotions to come up, especially happiness, because that's a great emotion to have. But it's not something that is always in the future. It's always going to be now, and we can have it now.
When you think about identity that we find often shaped by influence of family, culture, career, or expectations, what's some of the things that you see with clients and help them to realize that maybe some of the thoughts, labels, or roles are keeping them stuck in how they identify themselves with all those things I just mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I'll explain with myself because I don't have a personal experience with a lot of things. But just the identity of a civil engineer for me and a mother, it's the identity around it is what keeps us kind of stuck in that and not allow life to bring in the things that we truly need out of life. So yeah, it's just kind of that belief in all the things that your mind says. We don't have to believe everything our mind says. I often say that thoughts arise and we truly aren't in control of our thoughts. A short exercise I often do is tell people to close their eyes. I'll call it a meditation. And the only goal in the meditation is to completely stop your thoughts. If you're in control of them, stop them for 30 seconds. And majority of humans on the earth cannot do that. So it's just kind of noticing that you're not your thoughts. They arise, you can be aware of them, and kind of not letting go of labels, but noticing what they are. I can't speak for everyone, but just kind of becoming the awareness of the labels instead of involved in the labels and saying that's who I truly am. It's kind of trying to take baby steps back of who is your true being beyond this human body.
As a mother and as someone who is pursuing her own dreams, has success, you are educated. When you think about someone who might be struggling with intuition and distinguishing that between intuition and fear, how have you been able to point out which one is coming today? Is it intuition or is it the past? Is it fear? Kind of unpack that for us.
Yeah, so my intuition was really hard because I realized it was just a knowing and it wasn't any audible thing in my mind. And I don't have visual mind at all. A lot of times intuition is not going to be yelling at you to do something. That's usually fear or hope. And kind of, I've had this situation where I'm at the grocery store and I look at something and I'm pulled towards it. And there's just this like feeling like I should get that item. And it's a very simple item. And I'm like, I ignore it. And I tell myself, that's odd. I have that at home. And then I get home and I don't have it. So it was just kind of noticing those little things to allow yourself to build the intuition and not judging yourself. I think that's a big thing, is noticing those judging thoughts of, I shouldn't do that. So yeah, it's again, kind of another muscle of just strengthening it. Your ego or your past is going to be very frantically telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing.
This is I Am Refocused Radio, and watching us online, talking to our guest today, Sarah Collins. Go to her website, livingfullywithSarah.com. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit. When you work with your clients who seem to be trapped in overthinking and self-doubt, what are some of the things that kind of help them to slow down and gain some more clarity, so that way they don't just move forward with whatever you tell them, but they move with some kind of game plan to say, you know what, this is where I'm at, but with this, I can go through the process and get to the goal of the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, a lot of times people want to be heard. They want to express what's going on. And that's where like the therapy also is. I mean, I'm not a therapist, obviously, but I just help them notice thought patterns or things that they say. And I kind of just question different things that they say. I can pinpoint various things that people say and just kind of question that. And it just helps to bring more awareness around things. I mean, it is truly just a conversation with two people, but I've often been told that there's just something about me that people are able to open up, and I can pick up, I guess, intuitively on different things, and kind of, it's almost like a weaving puzzle where I can pull things together and help them realize that like this point that I'm stuck at is probably because of this other thing that I never was able to connect together. So those types of things. And I also intuitive write. So I help people to realize how to do that. It's really just putting pen and paper and not thinking and just writing. So you just kind of, I guess your unconscious comes out on paper. So that can help people too. It makes them realize all the stuff that they were talking about then connects onto paper without their mind overthinking it. So yeah, it's an individual experience of kind of these sessions, and no two are the same. So.
And with keeping in mind living life more fully, my next question is for someone who feels like they have trust issues with life happening. We want to control everything. We think we have to control everything. What does it actually look like in daily decisions for someone to start trusting life just happening and adjusting along the way?
That's a good question. I mean, I often, if it's truly a difficult situation, I obviously always recommend therapy before I can necessarily help someone. But I often ask, what are you most afraid of? What's the worst that can happen? And that usually trickles down to why they have trust issues in life. Our biggest fear often is death. And I love talking about death. I could talk about it for a long time because it's the only certainty in this life, but we're all so afraid of it. So kind of coming down to accepting different aspects, but again, it goes back to starting with the small things. Someone who can't trust life, can't trust so many aspects around their existence isn't going to all of a sudden be okay with everything in life. So it's really starting with the small things because it's too overwhelming to start with those larger things. So yeah, it's just kind of bringing more awareness around what is happening, those thoughts that are going on that we're believing about ourselves. And just, starting small.
Once again, let's Refocused Radio, watching us online, talking to our guest today. You can go to her website, livingfullywithSarah.com. That's again, livingfullywithSarah.com. We're talking to Sarah Collins. As we wrap this up, someone who's listening, watching, and they're wondering, well, what does it look like? Talking about small beginnings. What does it look like to start with you? What's your screening process and what can they expect?
Yeah, I offer a 30-minute intro conversation if you want to talk. And we just start from there. It's what you want to get out of it, and you have to decide to want to change. We cannot change anybody else. We often try to. We want to change so many other people that we're not happy with. But true change in your life comes from you. And then you can help other people. I'm happy to talk to people and really see what they want out of life.
And if you had an opportunity to reflect on where you started with this project to where you are today, obviously you're on multiple platforms and sharing your story and insight on your profession. If you could teach yourself some lessons learned, what's something that sticks out that you think business owners will appreciate on this journey of being not just an entrepreneur, but dealing with clients and growing your brand and marketing? I know that's a lot heavy question, but overall, what's some lessons learned that you appreciate now?
I think the one, fear of failure, and also the fear of what other people think of you. Are you running your business because you want recognition, you want something out of someone else, or are you truly doing it for yourself?
Yeah. And if you had something to give as words of encouragement to other entrepreneurs or business owners out there who might feel like they're in a tight spot. Come on, we all take turns, right? Let's just be real. But based on your own experience running your own ship and doing your own thing, what words of encouragement would you give to other owners out there who are trying to not just grow, but to weather the storm whenever it hits?
Yeah, all of life is moving forward. You have to keep going. And be careful about expecting a future outcome, because that prevents you from allowing maybe something even better to come in. I think that's where we get caught up a lot of planning a business and wanting it to look a certain way. And then we kind of put up these walls that don't let us kind of flourish into something that's maybe even better, that you had no idea in your mind that could even be a possibility. And just, keep going. Life is about experiences. life is about the joy, the happiness, all those emotions, and that we can continue to do the things that we truly love. And yes, it's going to be difficult. Human life is not easy. But if you keep going and doing it for yourself, I think that's a big thing, is doing it for yourself and not, obviously you may have to provide for a family, but just notice those thought patterns that come in. I'll bring it back to thoughts again.
And like we've been talking about throughout the whole interview, living fully. I mean, point blank is the part of your website. It is your website, livingfullywithSarah.com. Once again, listen, I Am Refocused Radio, watching this online, talking to our guest today. Go to Sarah's website, livingfullywithSarah.com. Sarah Collins, like I always want to say to you, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.